Simon Vouet was a French painter and draftsman, who today is perhaps best remembered for helping to introduce the Italian Baroque style of painting to France. Life. Simon Vouet was born on January 9, 1590 in Paris. His father Laurent was a painter in Paris and taught him the rudiments of art. Simon's brother Albin Vouet and his grandson Ludovico d'Origny were also painters. Simon began his painting career as a portrait painter. At a young age he travelled to England and was part of the entourage of the Baron de Sancy, French ambassador to Constantinople. From there he went to Venice and was in Rome in 1614. He spent an extensive period of time in Italy, from 1613 to 1627. He was mostly in Rome where the Baroque style was emerging during these years. He received a pension from the King of France and his patrons included the Barberini family, Cassiano del Pozzo, Paolo Giordano Orsini and Vincenzo Giustiniani. He also visited other parts of Italy, Venice, Bologna, Genoa, and Naples. He was a natural academic, who absorbed what he saw and studied, and distilled it in his painting, Caravaggio's dramatic lighting. Italian mannerism. Paolo Veronese's color and Di Sotto in Su or foreshortened perspective. And the art of Carracci, Guercino, Lanfranco and Guido Reni. Vouet's immense success in Rome led to his election as president of the Accademia di San Luca in 1624. In 1626 he married Virginia d'Arvezzo who modeled Madonnas for Vouet's religious commissions. Despite his success in Rome, Vouet suddenly returned to France in 1627, following pressing recommendations from the Duc de Bar copyright Thunes under summons from the king. A French contemporary, lacking the term Baroque, said, "In his time the art of painting began to be practiced here in a nobler and more beautiful way than ever before, and the allegory of riches, illustration, left demonstrates a new heroic sense of volumes, a breadth and confidence without decorative mannerisms." Vouet's new style was distinctly Italian, importing the Italian Baroque style into France. He adapted this style to the grand decorative scheme of the era of Louis XIII and Richelieu and was made Premier Painter du Roi. Louis XIII commissioned portraits, tapestry cartoons and paintings from him for the Palais du Louvre, the Palais du Luxembourg and the Car Cento de Saint-Germain-en-Laye. In 1632, he worked for Cardinal Richelieu at the Palais Royal and the Car Cento de Malmaison. In 1631 he also decorated the Car Cento of the Prague copyright Sident de Forcy, at Chessy, the Hartel Bullion, the Car Cento of Marshal d'Effiat at Chile, the Hartel of the Duc d'Euro unregistered trademark Ormont, the Tsar copyright Goya Chapel, and the gallery of the Car Cento de Waideville. In Paris, Vouet was the fresh dominating force in French painting, producing numerous public altarpieces and allegorical decors for private patrons. Vouet's sizable atelier or workshop produced a whole school of French painters for the following generation, and through Vouet, French Baroque painting retained a classicizing restraint from the outset. His most influential pupil was Charles Le Brun, who organized all the interior decorative painting at Versailles and dictated the official style at the court of Louis XIV of France, but who jealously excluded Vouet from the Accada copyright My Royale in 1648. Vouet's other students included Valentin de Boulogne, Charles-Alphonse du Fresnoy, Pierre Mnad, Eustache Lassou, Nicolas Chaperon, Claude Mellon and the Flemish artist Abraham Elamertz. Vouet was also a friend of Claude Vignon. A number of Vouet's decorative schemes have been lost but are recorded in engravings by Claude Mellon and Michel d'Origny. Exhibitions, 1990, retrospective of Simon Vouet's work at the Galeries Nationales of the Grand Palais. 2002 to 2003, Simon Vouet ULA copyright Loquent Sensible at the Musée copyright des Beaux-Arts de Nantes, devoted to drawings from his French period now in the collection of the Staatsbibliothek in Munich. 2008 to 2009, Simon Vouet, Les Années copyrightes Italiennes, Musée copyright des Beaux-Arts de Nantes, in collaboration with the Musée copyright des Beaux-Arts et d'Arche copyright Ologie de Bassana section on works. Decorative schemes Palais de la Justice, Palais Cardinal, Musa copyright des Humes Illustre, the Car Cento de Rueil, Car Cento de la Muette, Car Cento Neuf de Saint-Germain-en-Laye, the Four Cardinal Virtues, Car Cento de Fontainebleau, Residence of Chancellor Tsar copyright Goya, Residence of Mara copyright Charles de la Meilleraie, Residence of Prague copyright Sident Tubeuf, Church of Saint Nicholas des Champs à Paris, The Assumption, Apostles at the Tomb of the Virgin, Church of Saint Etienne à Chilly-Mazarin, Burial of Christ, Heart el Bullion, Church of Saint Mary. At Paris, Saint Mary releasing the prisoners. Royal tapestries Renaud and Armide, Renaud in the arms of Armide, Louvre, Moses saved from the waters, the life of Ulysses. Studio and copies Saint Sebastian, Sarah Campbell Blaffer Foundation, Saint Peter visiting Saint Agatha in prison, 1624, Intelligence, Memory and Will, Capitoline Museums, Rome, Virgin and Child de la Rose, Musa copyright des Beaux-Arts de Marseille, Hesselin Virgin and Child, Louvre, Saint Marie Madeleine, National Gallery, Rome, Allegory of the Fine Arts, National Gallery, Rome, Allegory of Peace, National Gallery, Rome, Allegory of Charity, Museum of Draguignan, Diana, Somerset House, London, Virgin and Child with an Angel, Musa copyright des Beaux-Arts de Cohen, Suicide of Lucretia, Narodny Gallery, Prague, Roman Charity, Musa. Copyright Bonnat, Bayonne, Burial, Fitzwilliam Museum, Cambridge, Martyrdom of Saint Eustace, Church of Saint Eustache, Paris, Diana, Royal Collection, Hampton Court, Hercules Among the Olympians, Royal Collection, Hampton Court, Minerva, Hermitage Museum, St. Petersburg, Virgin and Child, Hermitage Museum, St. Petersburg, Virgin and Child, Ashmolean Museum, Oxford, Virgin and Child, Musa copyright Magnon, Dijon, Apollo and the Muses, National Hungarian Museum, Budapest. References. External links, 10 paintings by Simon Vouet at the BBC or painting site, works at WGA, Getty Museum website, Simon Vouet, works by Simon Vouet, online Vouet Gallery at Museum Syndicate, St. Cecilia at the Blanton Museum of Art in Austin, French, an online article about etchings after Simon Vouet.